88.8 FM is where you'll catch us in Nairobi. 90.7, we are there in Mombasa. That's the FM frequency. And our newest baby, if I may call it that, is Garissa, 89.5. Nani ambaye ako uko bahali yaki Garissa, atuambia anatubata katika frequency gani? What do you think about my Garissa accent?
It's your Garissa accent. What am I supposed to think about? Why and what am I supposed to think about?
Umeuguzia microphone tena ile mahali. Yeah, no, ni kitu nakuanga hapa chini. Yeah, but anyway, let me ask. Nakusikia sasa, nakusikia. So, you were saying what? What do you think about my Garissa accent?
I'm not going to prefer a thought to something that is yours.
You know, Garissa are my neighbors in Kitui.
You tell me what you think of your Garissa accent.
So, whenever I meet them in, Kitui town, nawasalimianga, and then they have taught me a few of these particular words, and I'll be telling them to you later on. But let me introduce our guest, and probably they'll tell me whether my Garissa accent is doing well. We have Otieno Mokaya. He is an advocate and a youth leader, and also an aspirant. He'll be telling us about that. We also do have Peter Wanjiru, aka Kawanjiru, youth leader, Jubilee Party in Kiambu County. Gentlemen, welcome to Radio Generation. Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy New Year.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Yes. Always a pleasure.
Kabisa.
Yes, Kawanjiru. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very fine.
What do you think about my Garissa accent?
I think
Amekwamia hiyo kitu.
Lazima niulize. What do you think about my bahari yake accent?
it's like you are forcing the tongue.
Come on. So you want to tell me that if I go to the middle of Garissa market and I just do the kanzu and nianze kuambia tu bahari yake, they will just know this is an imposter.
The hair will sell you.
The hair will.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, welcome to Radio Generation. It's a new year, but we are inching closer and closer to elections, which are supposed to take place next year. Can't believe I'm saying this, next year. Very soon we shall be saying the elections will be taking place this year. But yes, they are taking place next year. And from where I sit, I have been watching our politics, and all I can say is that it's like there is no headway. We are seeing the leaders, yes. We know the political leaders in terms of the principles, the folks who might end up being at the ballot. We know the president will definitely be on the ballot. But for the other folks, the united opposition, I'm really not getting a clear signal as to, where we're heading. And let me start with you, Mokaya. What do you think is the direction specifically for the united opposition?
I think I'll start with how cyclic our elections are being and the psyche of the country around elections. We have fashioned our economy, our lives around elections. It's that everybody is in campaign mood 2 years before elections is something that we should be worried about. Yeah. Then it means, at what time do we sit and even work? At what time do we sit and even think about policy, including our tax policies? If in 2022 we are from elections, the first year we go around bragging about how we won the elections.
Yes.
The second year we sit around and try to settle in. The third year we are in campaign mode. The fourth year we are even in campaign mode further. And then the fifth year we are actually now in the election year. And the cycle continues. Then you wonder why we are at the same place, tackling the same problems 60 years past independence.
But I actually feel like since the last election, we have been in campaign mode ever since.
Actually, yeah. I don't know. You'll help me with the finesse of experience.
All right.
In my adult life, there is no place that I've not seen this country in election mode. Even our tax policies, our development structures, even where the economy is geared towards, it's always about an election. There's nothing about posterity. There's nothing about continuance. Nobody's talking about I'm picking up from where my brother left. Everybody comes, leaves unfinished projects, and then charts their own path.
Right.
We have a vision 2030 before we even understand what it is. We are into 4-point agenda before we even understand the second agenda. We are bottom up before we even understand what bottom up is. Now we are going to Singapore. Where are these things that we are living on the way with money spent? A typical example, we have very good roofs along Thika Road.
Yes.
Which money was spent and we don't know where that BRT is coming from.
All right.
We are having a railway that is ending in Naivasha. We don't know how it ended there.
Okay.
We are thinking about taking it to Kisumu, which I believe could have been the initial master plan. Whether we got what we paid for is another story.
It was the initial master.
Yes, but now it's stuck at Naivasha. We had the first dual carriage road. the superhighway was on top of the first dual carriage road, and now we are thinking about an expressway on the same expressway, on the same superhighway. We're having problems with an expressway to a place that has never seen a dual carriage road. So really, there is an skewed angle to which we think about our country, our people, even our elections, that is always about an election. Everything is always about an election. Every policy, it's either about personal gain, corruption, or even election.
Okay.
Whether there are people who are poised for that to take over power, somebody must be poised to take over power. Can we for once think about where our country is going, even as we transit to another election? What policies are we standing on? What do we expect our country to be after 2027? It's not about people. These are people looking for jobs. We have more than 10 million youths who are looking for jobs. Why isn't that a problem to us, that we are so fixated on 2 or 3 people doing the same thing, looking for a job?
Yeah. Petero, naja kwako sasa. Same question I asked him in terms of the way the direction the country is taking, specifically coming from our politicians. It's like we are getting closer to the election and only one person is sort of sure what exactly it is that they want. The others, they're not telling us anything actually. They're saying so much but nothing in between. Yeah.
So thank you. First of all, I would like to tell you, to answer this question with a question.
Okay.
Like, why are we here? Why is Kenya that right now we are facing high political, maybe the temperatures are very high in the political arena? I think we as Kenyans, we did a very big mistake in the last general election. We elected a leader who promised us to take us to heaven while we are living in hell.
But we didn't elect one leader. Several leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
But as a president, we did a mistake.
All right.
That's where the mistake is coming from. You know, you can't tell me that you are a driver. You are promising, you are coming from Gong Road, heading to Nairobi. But ukifika pale Junction Mall, you turn your vehicle heading to Gong Road, maybe to Gong Town.
Yes.
So the president himself is the first person who is leading this country into where we are. We have the problems. The problems that we were facing in 2022 are still there, and we are still heading into deeper problems right now. You know, the Singapore scenario, we are living in hell.
Yeah.
He's promising us heaven.
Yes.
You know, everyone here wants to be in heaven. But why?
There's something I was actually, and I said, I think it was on Monday, I think. Yes, Monday. I said that I think the president, that is Dr. William Ruto, gave us an amazing manifesto. You know, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. For me, it really sounds good on paper. But I told CT and the guests that we had here, I feel like he's trying to do so much within a short period. And if I were him, I'd probably choose 3 or 4 projects and just make sure I perfect them. I don't know if you, number one, Wanjiru, you agree with me before I move on over to Mokaya for the same question. Do you feel like the problem was he had a good idea? Because that is why people elected him. They wouldn't have elected him if he hadn't given them a good idea. Wakenya si wajinga. So is it that he overpromised and underdelivered, or he just promised and has delivered nothing whatsoever?
I think what lacked he promised, yes, he had a good, very manifesto, but at the end, when he gained the power, the promise, I think the book that he wrote, the promises he gave us to us, alifunga. Maybe akaiweka, maybe in a drawer, na akaifunga.
Na akapoteza funguo.
Exactly. So,
the opinion that when politicians make promises, they are anticipating and they are hoping that it can get done. Primarily because they think that when they get to that position, what they're hoping to do can be done. Then they get there and they find it is not quite what they thought. What do you think of that particular perspective?
But he was a DP before he won the election to be the president. So I think the manifesto was very clear that when he gets to that power of the president, he will deliver. You know, he was observing his former...
Can I ask you a question? You were in this system where you went to Form 1. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Did you knew there were people in Form 2, and you could discuss issues in Form 2. But when you got to Form 2, is it what you imagined it would be, or was it different? Or let's start with primary school. When you were sitting for an exam hoping to go to secondary school, you had an image of what image, because you were not in secondary school. When you get to secondary school, did the secondary school turn out to be exactly what you thought, or did you find out that there were things that you had never had foreseen before you actually got to secondary school?
The conversation here is very different.
Oh no, it is not.
Just listen here. The president, like, let's assume the same case, the same example you have used. Let's use a school. The president, at that time, he was a deputy principal. So, everyone has his or her own ambitions. So he was actually having his desires to be the principal. He was observing, maybe saying, oh, when I get to that position of the principal, I'll do some few changes. He understood the system, how it was working, where the president was wrong, and he gave his manifesto. So I think what he is lacking is what he was hoping. So he was hoping that he will change the system.
Do you know how easy
but
it
the
is
system is changing
do you know how easy it is to criticize something that is being done by somebody else? And do you know how easy it is to see things which are not being done? And yet, if you are given the same task, you may find it is not quite what you thought it was. But these are thoughts that people have had regarding the same thing. But please go on. So this is a president who promised, and clearly he didn't quite fulfill whatever he had said he was going to do.
Actually, I think in his own mind, he was not to come and deliver his promises.
Why do you say that?
The mistake he did was appointing politicians to be ministers. Like CS for ICT is a politician. You ask him a mouse, anakwambia panya, like how?
Okay, ngoja kidogo. I don't You guys, you can't be doing this to the former
Honorable
governor of
Kabogo knows
actually we come from the same area.
Kabogo knows
Yes.
what a mouse is. Hata hiyo panya unasema anajua bwana.
Hajui bwana.
Actually, he's right.
Yeah.
The Swahili name, proper name for a computer mouse is kipanya. So
Yes.
it's the same joke that we had for a very senior officer who was trying to say 1 billion passengers.
Yes.
And people say a motorbike carried 1 billion
1
passengers.
billion
But the
passengers,
ignorance
yes.
was on our side because we didn't understand that 1 billion passengers is anyone who rides anything that looks
Actually,
like a horse.
a lot
And
of people
all of us
found
went
out
to school that
yes.
day.
Yes.
So there is we can interpret what we want from what somebody says. But the good thing about speech or hearing is that the person saying is only in control of what they say. What we hear is really it's dependent on many things, including our perception of what the person saying it. If let's say in family gatherings, the final word always comes from the person who will pay, including funerals. So whatever you say, however wise you'll be looked at with the imagination that can you finance your ideas. We have it's the good thing about wisdom is that we can get it from anywhere. And I like to tap into the wisdom of my ancestors. My ancestors said, and I'll request that I say it the same way they said it.
Okay.
Moisi ato itaiso kano nyuome.
All right.
What that means is that don't kill your father, son. Tomorrow you'll marry. The wisdom behind that is you'll always think people ahead of you are suboptimal. You'll always think they're careless, even foolish. But when you get there, you realize they might have even been more capacities than you had or even thought. It's easy to criticize because what that requires is not you doing anything. It's just watching and finding mistakes in what these people are doing.
Okay.
But when you get there, you'll realize that maybe you are too ambitious. Maybe you even were wrong about your sense of self-importance. Or even maybe you were so selfish about how many A's you gave yourself. The first example you'll think is, let's go to the family or even the dating market. How many boyfriends actually realize what the poems they were writing to their girlfriends before they became their girlfriends? How many husbands are true to the promises they gave their wives before they became their wives? The same thing. There are things you say, flowery things you say to get to where you are going. But then when you get to consummate the position that you've gained out of what you said, then you realize there are very few things that you can actually realize with the circumstances and the resources you have in that position.
Are you alleging that perhaps the president made promises knowing that he will deliver, but when he got the position, he realized that, hey, by the way, he's easy?
Every romantic is very serious and very intentional about all the promises they give their suitors. But when they marry, it's not that they hate their partners. There are priorities that come. There are realities that happen. You'll want to buy your wife a beautiful dress, but will you buy it in place of school fees? You want to eat meat today, but will you buy it in place of the condition that your parent is ailing through because you want your partner to feel good?
Okay.
Will you skip medicine because you want to buy cake for your birthday? There are things we do, there are things we mean even to do.
Yeah.
But again, they are realities. Why are we questioning things? I think there is a new cool, there is a new fashion, there is a new marketing structure of personalities and even institutions, including political parties, that must be fueled by the amount of insults, the amount of opposition, the amount of bad things we say about people in power. But I want us to use Kibaki's monies that are invested in our education properly. That the reason why we go to school is not that we should have uniform ideas. The reason we go to dance school is not that we have to dance the same way. The reason we go to music school is not that we produce the same sounding, the same rhythm in music. We should be tolerant enough to even try to think on behalf of the opposite conversation. We should, the Tanzanian says, kuwa mpinzani sio kupinga kila kitu. We should clap for good things. We should criticize bad things in equal measure and with the same energies. The Rironi Summit road is being built. Clap for that. The coast has issues. Question that. The road towards tendering has issues. Question that. But you don't kill a child because you have an issue with the mother.
I've seen Peter here laughing at that point of Mau Summit. Your thoughts, please.
Yes, actually, I'm laughing because I think this brother lives in, maybe he lives in Earth, where I live in Pluto. But here, he lives in Pluto. I live in this Earth. Specifically to be in place, I live in Kenya. So he's talking about the Mau Summit is being built. I would like to tell you, frankly, the truth is here. President went there, launched the road, ikapigwa ile inaitangwa mranda kidogo for people to see that he is building the road. But since that day, I can assure you, since that day, no work has been going on. So let me tell my brother here, like, tusidanganyane, we are living in Kenya. But I think, unajua yeye maybe he is living out of Kenya in his mind. But in the real reality, we are living in Kenya. And we must talk the truth here.
Okay.
You know, huwezi niambia, like, I take you to, you are a radio presenter.
Yes, I am.
I take you to the hospital. I tell you, like, today you are going to carry a surgery to a patient. Will you be able?
Hata sijui mali scalpel inashikwa.
So that's the problem where it's coming. So let's have people with their profession doing what they are supposed to do.
I want to take you back to the point you said that the president appointed politicians in the places of cabinet secretaries.
Exactly.
But this is not the first time ministers have been politicians. It started all the way since independence, where sitting MPs actually, you'd have to be an MP first for you to be considered for the position of minister. So it's not the first time we've had actually, I think right now we have less politicians as cabinet secretaries. So for me, the question is about do you have the merits of being in that particular position? Is that what you're questioning?
Actually, the mistake here is not about maybe him appointing the politician.
Yes.
The mistake is he appointed some people who are not working. Actually, if you look in the ministries, every person, every day, everywhere, they are on the monks. So huyo mtu atafanya kazi lini? So the mistake is he appointed noisemakers, not workers.
Now, there's a debate. Let me call it debate. We had here in the studio also. CT was part of that conversation where we were asking, in a ministry, who has got the real power? Who actually ensures when we say that road we were talking about, the Rironi Mau Summit Road, when we say this road is supposed to be constructed, of course, there's a ministry that is in charge of that particular implementation. Is the minister really in charge of that work ongoing, or is there someone beneath him in terms of rank in the ministry who actually holds the true power that will ensure things work within that particular ministry?
I think I will first say the president himself. If you look in most of the ministries, most of the PSs are from his own tribe. So,
have you done the maths?
Yeah, I have done it.
Tell us the maths.
If you look at most of the ministries at the PSs, I can assure you, most of them.
No. Tell us the maths. How many ministries do we have?
We have allowed.
No, there are a specific number.
There are 22. Yes.
Yes. And so, how many PSs? Because some ministries have more than one department, and so if they have more than one department, then you will find they have more than one PS.
So I think to your question, maybe there is someone who is beneath it. You know, the president himself should have the clearance of the ministry, the CS himself or herself, telling him that we have the finances to build the Mau Summit Road or maybe the other road, but not the president himself saying that we will build, but we don't have the finances.
The reason I brought that issue of the ministries and who's supposed to implement what, who has the power to do what, politically or otherwise, is because there is also this issue of the president being the principal, the CEO of the country, can have a very good idea, and I'm not Sitete president by the way, I'm just asking because I need us to be very logical and rational in the conversation. Is it possible, and I'm asking you now, is it possible that even within his own ranks, from the CSS to the PSs, he might have good ideas, but the people that he has hired to implement are the ones failing him, and by extension we see his government as a failure? Then
how would you have good ideas then you appoint people who can't carry the mandate through? So how are the good ideas manifested?
I'm very systematic in the question, so I've asked you that one. Is it possible that, first of all, he has good ideas, but the folks that he has hired to ensure that that dream is implemented are failing?
Who
that
hired
him? I've said he hired people who are failing him. Yes. Is it possible that that is the scenario?
I think that's the scenario. But in my own view, maybe he did not want to perform.
Okay. So from the initial stage, he decided, I will choose Mbuvi because I know Mbuvi is incompetent. So even if I give him this particular position, he will not perform. Therefore, even if I look bad, that is the initial plan. That is what you're saying. You know,
the president, let's turn our conversation into education sector.
Okay.
If you look at the JSS teachers are still pending for the approval. And he said himself that they will wait. They will wait until 2027. But in the previous years, he said himself he will approve the JSS, who are the interns. Okay. So I think the president is towards spokesman. Like anasema that he is preaching the wine
and
drinking water.
Drinking maybe the black inaitagwa black keg. So I think we must be very realistic on what is happening to
Mokaya. I'd like your input in this.
So there are lies that have been said so repeatedly until they have a semblance of truth.
Okay, such as
that the government is one-sided. Actually, the complaint should come from different quarters. I'll not be exact in those numbers, but I'll say 7 of the 22 or 21 ministers come from the same region, which is not the president's region. That is the first inequality we should be talking about. But we don't say that because it's not cool to say it. The problem with our politics is that we pick narratives and we run with them without facts. My brother here said that most PSS come from the president's tribe.
Okay.
That's not factual, but it's called politically
correct.
sweet.
No, it is politically acceptable.
Yes, it's political. It's the narrative
Yes.
that we want to further. Whether it's true or not, it's not necessarily our business.
Yeah.
Truth is not an issue in our politics. We want to further narratives, and we want to further these narratives because that is what will get some people in positions that they admire. And the people who are being used to further these narratives are specifically young people, and for good reason, because they don't have the benefit of history. They don't understand where we are coming from. And these are people who never lived some critical turning points of this country, especially some turning points that were close to tipping points. And that's why people are using my generation to further those narratives. Allow me to say this. Somebody said in a funeral that there are MPs who are having difficulties in finding roads to tarmac. Yeah? I didn't see that clip, I didn't hear it, but it didn't sit well with me because our members of parliament are being heckled out of rallies or even funerals because people cannot take tea to the factories. The problem with my summit is not whether the road is being built or not.
Yes.
It's that the idea itself is stimulating. Why? Because it speaks to many things. That's not just a road. For the first time, taxes collected from this country and people from the west side of the rift is actually facing them. That we are celebrating two ministries. It's not, understand us. It's not because they'll help, these ministries are even, they'll be translated into anything that will benefit Mwananchi. It's because for the first time, we are consuming something that is not bullets, that is not tear gas. I said here, and I said it in passing, that the first dual carriage was replaced by a superhighway that was extended to another dual carriage. There is trade in that infrastructure. When people are saying that we don't eat roads, some people can't eat because there are no roads.
So in essence, we can eat roads.
We can really eat roads because mboga from Nyacheki market gets to Nairobi in 4 hours before it's stale. Fish from Lake Victoria will be in Nairobi in the state that it was extracted. It speaks to safety that we have lost enough people from the west of Rift Valley because of head-on collisions. What that road makes is that your mistakes and your drunk driving ends with you. You don't carry 60 other people in a bus with that. What that means is that for the first time, we'll not spend 24 hours trying to go see our mothers. That we don't have to prepare to go home for a funeral in Friday, on Wednesday. That is what that road means. And such are every other infrastructure that people from other quarter laugh at, that we celebrate. And there is the anatomy of the stories we receive. It's because people who have been in former governments don't see these projects as development projects. They see them as avenues to eat. Human beings are wired to be traumatized or even to be afraid of their vices. That's why thieves double lock their doors, witches walk around with charms, and philandering partners are always trailing their spouses. Because you can't stand what you do. People complaining about these development projects, they're not complaining about development projects. They are jealous of the perceived corruption in these projects. That they ate from SGR, they think somebody's eating from our summit and it's unacceptable. That they ate from the expressway, they have problems in Talanta Stadium because they believe somebody's making billions out of it. And we must understand where our opposition is coming from. I have my problems with many things. But for once, I can't join the bandwagon that is laughing at everything, even at good things. I can't be in the bandwagon that is clapping for divisive tribal narratives that are at the verge of banning this country. I can't be hero worshipping people who realized that something is wrong immediately they stopped eating. One thing is true. somebody lost a job, and that person is willing to burn this country until he gets that job. But as a young person, I want this country to be there for me and for my children and for everything I'm doing today, tomorrow. I can't stand here and for the sake of politics, for the sake of political ends, support narratives I don't know, I don't believe in. I can't be here saying that a road cannot be built to my place, a stadium cannot be built for my brothers to play football, developments cannot be done just because a politician said so.
Okay.
The problem is not the project. The problem is not the developments. The problem is not even the Singaporean dream. It's a good thing said by the wrong person.
Okay. Peter, you want to respond to that first?
Actually,
Yeah.
I just respond with one thing. You know, let's be realistic. You know, maybe here I'm the husband. The husband is the president. But the beautiful lady here is the mwananchi. You know, I cannot go there, promise the lady, I will marry her and impregnate her. Then nijipate sina ile nguvu ya kiume. So the lady will be frustrated.
For sure.
So I think the president should, in his own ways,
Yes.
impregnate us, we as the mwananchi. Then mwananchi akiona mimba atashindwa, kulienda aje.
Okay.
So let him not say like make it publicly or maybe to entice people that I will be like anaenda na launch barabara.
Okay.
But in the real sense he's not ready to build it.
So unasema ana shoot blanks basically.
Yeah, I think what he should do development in silent.
Okay.
Then the mwananchi will start saying, oh, the president is really working.
Let me ask you something. For example, you come from Kiambu County.
Exactly.
Yes? You're a resident there as well.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at some of the projects that your county has benefited from the current leadership, can you point out maybe one or two?
I think I don't.
Because
I don't see
there's
any.
a statement he said, and I've also heard it, yeah? Their MPs, and apparently those MPs come from Central Mountain Region, that they are literally, they don't have development projects to do because apparently they've most probably all of them been done. So I want to find out from
Exactly
you.
not true.
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking him, could you point out something in this particular Kenya Kwanza government that has been done within your county, if at all there's any?
By the maybe by the president himself or by
No,
who?
Kenya Kwanza government, like this current regime.
I think first of all I would like to say maybe in my county the county government there
Yes.
is really working.
All right.
But not let's not hype that the county government is working, so the Kenya Kwanza government is working.
So the county government is working.
Yes, it's
okay.
working.
What are
But
some of the projects the county government has done in
I
your
think
county?
our governor has built more ECDs in the that it has never been seen.
Yes.
He is building like ECDs daily. Although we have challenges, maybe with roads, water,
Okay.
but he is really trying.
All right.
So I think the county government and the MPs should maybe try to not just wait for the president. Let them try to bring down development in their own means. Like if you look in Kiharo,
Yeah.
developments are ongoing. Like people are asking themselves,
Kiambu is in Murang'a, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like unajiuliza like does Kiharo get more money than my constituency? So I think we must get it clearly. Like why is Kiharo developing?
Yeah.
Her other parts are not developing.
Do you know your MP?
Yes.
Who's your sitting MP?
My MP is wa Mushomba. Gadhoni wa Mushomba.
Mushomba.
Yes.
How is she performing?
Let me say she's doing nothing.
Okay.
But like if you look in my constituency,
When you say nothing, what do you mean?
she's actually doing nothing.
No.
You know,
when you say nothing, I need to understand. How many times has she been elected?
It's her first time to be the MP of Githegori,
Before that, she was?
the woman rep.
Okay. So, in these 2 times that she has represented politically that particular region, she has done nothing. Meaning, there is absolutely nothing you can look at and say this is something she initiated, this is the development project that she stood for. There's absolutely nothing.
Like when she was the woman rep for Kiambu, she really tried to bring the GAF initiative to the county, to our mamas. She did it right when she was there.
Hapo alifanya kazi mzuri.
Hapo alifanya kazi.
Okay.
But in the MP seat,
NGCDF hajatumia venye.
Like
Kiharu ametumia, venye
exactly.
Nyoro ametumia.
But she's trying. I cannot say that she's not performing, but she's really trying. You know, Wamushomba is a like a flying chicken that wants to ile ya kutaga mayai. So hana ile msimamo, like you know, leo anasema hivi, the other day
kesho
hivi.
inabadilika.
So I think she's more into national politics rather than being the constituency level.
So the reason I asked you about your county and then I also went into your MP, it is because, and then of course we were looking at the Kenya Kwanza government. I wanted to understand who has failed you more. Would you say that your local leader, who's your MP, perhaps even look at your MCA, who would you say that has failed you more than the other? Would you blame the government? Would you blame the president more than you would blame your MP, for example?
I think here we should not always be blaming the president, but in the real sense, we must, you know, the current maybe MP and MCAs, they are telling us that the president is trying to release the money.
Okay.
So if she or he is not performing, he or she is blaming the government that hajapatio hiyo pesa.
Okay.
I saw the other day Muranga Governor Kangata saying that the SHA itself is having more balances, more they have not released the actual money for the SHA. So I think in the real sense, for the county government to work, the national government must release money to the county governments in time.
Okay.
So that we can feel the lead development. So I think the money in quotes that is not being released to the counties is the one that the president is just reiterating here, giving what to, like going to a church and asema nimetoa 20 million. I think
empowerment programs.
Exactly. These are the soprano guy.
You see, you never cease to amaze me with every sentence. Now, Mokaya, getting back to you, there's something that has come out of our conversation with Peter here, and I just wanted to understand when it comes to the youth, like you were mentioning earlier on. Where do you think we have been failed more? Is it number one by our local elected leaders or the larger national government? Because there's something that always comes out in our conversations, and it is about OSG empowerment. We talk about employment, and we talk about opportunities not being available for the youth. In your opinion, who do you think has failed the young people most?
That is a very broad question, but I like that you've broken it down to make it easy for me to know where to angle my answer. We have 6 levels of representation. And the Constitution, in the drafters or the spirit of the Constitution, never envisioned that there will be an opposition. The Constitution only envisioned one government with the minority and majority. So this opposition story is out of what we are used to. That we know there is a...
You're saying that's our creation? Our
creation. The Constitution we voted in for did not say there is opposition. It's you are either in the minority or majority. So the government, we have 2 levels of government that work independently, but they must work together. Together in this way. There are functions that are county functions, there are functions that are national government functions, but they are interdependent. That there is no county government without national government, just like the national government cannot function without the county government. It's a sweet balance. And this was informed again historically. That the Majimboism that Jaramogi Odinga visualized in 1964-5, City will correct me, is what we realized. That despite what opinion you have of the man on top, you are able to realize development. Despite whether you are in line, in sync, or even in the same rhythm with the national government, with proper decisions at the grassroots level, you are able to realize the products of your taxes.
The people who actually propagated Majimboism were Daniel Arap Moi and Ronald Ngala. It was said Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had a socialistic leaning in the way he felt the government should function and how it is that the citizenry should benefit from their government. But he himself was a businessman, so he had a leaning towards capitalism, yes. But when you look at our sessional paper number 10 and the creation of what we call African socialism and the thinking behind it, then you understand that perhaps it is that thinking that later led to the variance that he and Jomo Kenyatta had. Because Jomo Kenyatta was a die-in-the-wool capitalist. And that seemed to run contrary to what Jaramogi stated that he stood for. But it is Ronald Ngala and Daniel Arap Moi who are the shining lights of Majimboism.
Yes, but we have a lot of bad things to say about Jaramogi, about Moi, that we can't even credit him for things like that. So we can't fully complain, or we can't fully paint some people black so that we seem white without looking at who really is in charge of our development. If the government, the national government is bad, then that should be falsified by your county government working. Because also even roads, there are national government roads and there are county roads. Some sectors are governed, are actually should be implemented or even developed by your county government. How wrong are we that we voted the wrong president, voted the wrong governor, voted the wrong MP, voted the wrong MCA? Then why are we really complaining? Because we deserve the leaders we get. What that is not done with national government, some of it should be done by the county government, and they get a share of resources by law. There is the division, the separation of powers in our government structure.
Yes.
Even in the naming of our positions, president comes from preside. Presiding is not the doing. Presiding is vision bearing and ensuring that everything is aligned with your vision.
It's also oversighting.
Oversighting, yes. Then we have cabinet secretaries. There were ministers then, but the nomenclature lied. It created bosses. Now we got cabinet secretaries. Cabinet secretaries is a doing job. It's a job that ensures that whatever is being presided actually goes into policy. The EIA holder in every ministry is not the minister, is the permanent secretary.
Principal
secretary. This is the person who signs off projects, who signs off policy, who gets policy into tasks. For this to be realized, then we'll need City to handle this, Mbuvi to handle this, Mokaya to handle this, Kawanjiru to handle this, and this mix gives us what we want. I think the big failing in the current government, which is what we are not saying, is that maybe the person speaking is not the person who should. There's an office of the government spokesperson. And that office, if there is a star government spokesperson, it should be Mutua, Alfred.
Okay.
He did that job so well. Then now the political appointments that my brother is complaining about is what is getting us here. That the president complains that he knows more about ministries than people running them should indicate that somebody is not saying what should be said so eloquently, that we don't have what in corporate governance is called plausible deniability, that the head of an institution should not speak as much as he does, because then he can't correct his own narrative. The reason why the government spokesperson should speak what he should is so that in case they make mistakes, that's where now the president comes to correct that what they said is not what I had envisioned. Truth is, and this is true, We couldn't reply to Kibaki because he said nothing. We could reply to Uhuru because he said something. We have everything to say against Ruto because he says everything. And by the time you open your mouth to say something, somebody thinks they can speak better. But look at it empirically with what you can prove and what you can substantiate. No president has done more in his first term than the current president. Whether he has done it right, that's now where the debate is. All presidents realized what they have as flagships in the second term. Whether they did it correctly is now another debate. I have issues with the empowerment program because now there is a lot of legal questions to ask about where the money comes from, what it does, and what it's aimed at. I have issues with some policies because I believe there are things governments should not do. The first thing, the law does not tell government. The government should not get into things that the private sector should do. Government should create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. But at least there is something being done. I'm driving towards affordable housing. If you look from a policy or even a governance proper standpoint, really the government should not touch that. But then you realize our real estate market is skewed. There's a lot of fraudulent pricing in houses. So if the government, by selling a house at 3 million, they'll get the Chinese to sell it at 6 million, then there is a balancing effect that our real estate market is balancing itself out. Actually, because of this.
The problem isn't even our real estate market, if you think about it, because any business entity is an inanimate object. It is the ethos that we have embraced as Kenyans, and which manifests in what you are saying. It's the ethos that we have embraced that manifests itself with our members of parliament, and shamefully the things that they were elected to do and which they do not do, and the things which they do that nobody elected them to do. So we then develop this culture where the lenses through which we look at life is absolutely and almost irrevocably negative.
Yes.
And we instead of even looking at the situation and saying, yes, this is bad and this is bad, and balancing it, we very rarely balance our political discussions, especially when we're offering our views. And yet, for those of you who are young, it's a culture you must develop. You can't carry on and have the attitude that my generation had. Because us, we think in terms of our tribes, and we've infected you. So do you.
So I think
True. Let me land. So the houses government is building are not properly the function of government, but they are curing a disease that we are suffering from. It can't be that a 2-bedroom house in Kilimani, Kileleshwa, or everywhere where the middle class wants to settle is going at 15 million when that house is being sold by government at 3 million. What that means is that the market will actually properly, the real estate should speak to rental, that buying and renting should somehow even out. That you can't get your money in less than 10 years in an apartment you bought speaks to something that the real estate, there is a lot of margins to be made there that make our housing skewed. And that is what that cures. How it cures it might not be the taste we want, but something is being done about it. He spoke about SHA, and I like that he spoke truth about SHA. SHA could not, there are aspects of SHA that is not working, and that is the service provider aspect of it. That compensations to hospitals are not arriving in time.
Yeah, but there's an explanation to that.
Yes, there is an explanation to that, and hospitals are suffering that, and which goes into some other adjustment, that there is something that was happening with NHIF that was tried with SHA, and it failed, because then you can't have 200 C-sections in a 1-bed clinic in Garissa. If that is not working, then let it not work, because if corruption is not working, please let it fail. But on the patient side, I don't know whether my experience is different, but I'm a firstborn. I took my younger sister to hospital. Sha paid for something. And I felt I was actually pleasantly surprised that I don't have to pay for that, because Sha worked, and it didn't work like my insurance. It worked like a social insurance. You register today, it pays tomorrow. So, but is that a story we want to tell? No, because it doesn't meet our political end. This government is bad and it must be bad. That is the story we want to tell. Whether they start preaching the gospel, actually the gospel will be bad because Pastor Ruto is preaching it, not because the gospel
it isn't even the government that is bad. From where I sit, it's Ruto who is bad.
It's Ruto who's bad.
And since he's the president,
must
everything
be
he
bad.
presides over
Must be
has
bad.
no alternative but to be bad.
So this day, the
Yes.
fish is not rotting from the head. We must make sure the head rots so that we say the fish is rotten. Our hate for Ruto is so bad
Yes.
and so entrenched that we are inheriting this enemy from Gachagua and co. So badly that is infecting even the angels we call children.
By the way, Mokaya, nilisema ndakuuliza na naona nikisahau.
Utasahau, hata mimi.
Ni kiti gani unataka?
Mimi nataka kuwa mjumbe wa Bobasi constituency, Kisii County.
Okay.
Yes.
MP.
Member of Parliament.
All right.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best.
Asante.
Then we also have Peter Wanjiru, aka Kawanjiru. He's a youth leader within the Jubilee Party in Kiambu County. Peter, are you aspiring to be an MCA, MP, Senator,
Yes.
Governor?
Actually, right now, I'm involving my community.
Yes.
That's Komodhai Ward.
Yeah.
I'm listening to their views, and if as time goes,
Yes.
I will decide whether to buy
Yes.
or not.
But some of them have told you, Mheshimiwa, kiongozi.
Wanasema like
Yes.
wanalia sana.
So
lazima ni consult wazee, vijana pale na wamama pia. Na warembo wakisema ni mimi tutavai tu, tutasimama.
Umesikia warembo?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
This man is poised. He even speaks the language.
Yes.
Yes. Anangoja kusikia mwito. Already anaisikiza.
All right.
That statement represents a truth that if it were practiced, Kenya would be a completely different country.
Yeah.
Because ideally, you are elected to represent the views of those people, not to go and do what you think you want to do or to tell them what to do.
Exactly.
They are supposed to tell you what they want you to do for them.
You know, I think the mistake with our political arena in Kenya is as politicians, as leaders, coming with a manifesto.
Those two are very different things.
Politicians are
completely different. Most of it are just politicians.
But let us assume the politicians.
Yes.
You know, wanakuja na the manifesto itself.
Yes.
They promise us, I will take you, I will do this, I will do this.
You should say, we promise, because you are a politician.
You know,
You are now in that bandwagon.
Baba Wapo.
you know, really,
actually said as politicians, then you realize no. I'm not supposed to confess this truth. As leaders.
you know, I think we should, politicians and leaders, you know, as far as you are leading people, we should first of all go to the people, ask them, what would you like for me to present for you? You know, I think the mistake is, I come and tell you, I will take you to Singapore, I will take you to somewhere, but I have not had your views.
Maybe you want to go to Seychelles.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I think we should liaise mostly with the Mwananchi, the common Mwananchi at the grassroots, hear from him or her the challenges they are facing, for us to represent them, not us, those who are representing them, coming and telling you, nita kufanyia hiyo.
Actually, leadership has to involve you telling people what you think you would like to do for them also. Apart from listening, you'd say, look, there's this thing which I have in mind, which I'd like to do. And now we have a very robust constitution that allows you to actually go about getting to understand what these people who you represent think about your idea.
But
that's what we call public participation.
Exactly.
Yes.
But we should actually be promising what we can deliver. You know, something that people...
Just wait. So you want to vie for a position?
Wacha nikuulize because CT anatuambianga hapa na ni ukweli anyway, CT anatuambianga kitu uongo that our leaders wanatokanga to where we are. It's not like we don't import them.
These politicians, please, let's not confuse leadership and politicians.
Yes. All right.
These politicians.
We have agreed here that Wanjiru is the politician.
Yes.
You're also a politician.
I think from my own view, sahi mwananchi amekuwa mwerevu kidogo. Nimekuwa kwa ground. Hey, na unapata they are discussing what is happening. Wanakwambia like I was asked by someone which is the role of an MP. I was like, wamefika aje hapo? Unajua
ulikuwa dhani bado ni mafala.
Bado ni mafala like sahi mwananchi amekuwa mwerevu sana. Huwezi mwambia ati like tuseme an MCA umwambia ati I will build you maybe I will tarmac a road for you. Atashindwa
actually an MCA can.
Anaweza but
MP cannot.
Anaweza but in the real sense lazima akuulize where will you get the money? If you will not liaise with the county government, like sai mwananchi, actually where we are heading to, the mwananchi ataanza kusema the role of MCA is this one. The role of an MP is this one.
Senator ni hii.
Governor ni hii. That's kama if you are underperforming, anakuja anakwambia this is your role, uko wapi?
Okay. Kuna kitu nilikuwa nataka kuuliza before nisahau. Si wewe umetoka Komothai ward umesema hivyo?
Komothai ward.
Komothai. What is some of the things that before even you ask the residents because you're one of them. What are some of the problems of Komothai?
I think most of the problem that we are facing as Komothai people
that an MCA of your caliber would sort.
Actually most of the challenging thing that we are facing daily. First of all it's roads. The feeder roads actually kuna watu pale wa Mudhithi, Veita, Jidoli, hata at my own area, that's where a village called Kanake, Githima, Wajenga, the roads are actually messy. Actually, my brother here told me that the Mount Kenya people are living in maybe in USA, but hey, uko ground.
Ni mshafika Singapore.
Sisi bado. That's why we are complaining that the feeder roads need to be done something. The MCA, I think, he was very young when he was elected. He was actually 26 years. So I think he's still a young person. He has time. 18 months is not a joke. Unajua anaweza amka maybe in this year.
Mupate barabara zote ziko tarmacked.
So I think
there is absolutely no place in this country, in these constituencies where all the roads are tarmacked. Hakuna. Kama iko mtu niambie.
Let me tell you, if you go to Gatondo South, most of them, not all, but
I am talking about all. All. It is not possible. Even these so-called developed countries, okay, there are main roads, trunk roads that have tarmac, some have concrete in countries where people are perhaps more conscious and understand these things. But you cannot have a situation that all roads are tarmac. In fact, let me put it to you differently. All roads don't need to be tarmacked. Let me put it to you that way. Yes.
I think
tarmac is used to signify that the roads that exist in certain places are not well maintained, and that many of them are all impassable because if they existed, they have actually not been upgraded, or whatever it is that is required for them to be made usable has not been done.
I think what most Kenya should be demanding is most of the roads being constructed in a concrete way, because concrete inaweza last for 50 years. I think if we can maybe the current MCA maybe he or she can build 2 roads maybe in his or her entire 5 years, then the next MCA hatarudi pale. So you see, I think we can be progressing in a very high rate.
That. Have you ever seen roads that have been built by communities? I have.
Yeah, I have. In Kiharu, Ziko.
Yes. Meaning, you look for the aggregate that is required, and you look for the human resource that knows how to manage those things.
Exactly.
All right? It's that element of the human resource, the training and understanding, that is responsible for what you see in Kiharu. The MP explained it quite well. And I listened to the things that he was saying.
Labor-based.
Yes, exactly. It's meaning some thought went into that process. Okay? I know of roads that have been built exactly with that same formula. Yeah. In fact, I know of places where the road was built, people were paid with food. Okay?
Harambe spirit proper.
Yes, it's like people are paid. The road is built, but people are paid, but with food. So all I'm saying is, the leadership comes in when you find somebody who's been elected thinking about how best to engage the community that elected them, and how it is that the very things that they consider important, they can participate in ensuring is brought to the standards that they require. And now that's leadership. Because he knows, I have this resource, I have this money. He even takes it and says, guys, this is the money we have. Can we prioritize it? And then involves them in the actually doing of that work. And where there's a gap, she makes sure that people even go for some specific trainings so that they're able to implement these things well. That's now where leadership comes in. Not these fellows who talk non-stop, okay? And always have an opinion on something. And the people who elected them never feature in the conversations they have. And the progress they wish to make in the lives of these people who elect them never features. And even a plan that they have and have discussed with their people for the welfare of these people is never discussed. Now, that is a politician, that's not a leader.
I think what we are facing in Kenya is like the leaders who are elected right now.
Excuse me.
They have the
politicians who are elected. You know, I'm going to be correcting you the whole time. Yes.
So those who are in position, like the politicians, as you have said, they have the asali in their hands. Then anakuja na kuambia the mwananchi, I will give you the asali, you kuramba ile ya kuramba. But the time you are coming to kuramba, anakupatia the other thing. So I think that's where you are facing the challenge.
Anabadilisha na pilipili.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
So umesema ukikuwa MCA unatengeneza barabara za Komodhai.
If God allows and people gives me the power, because the power belongs to the people.
Yes, for sure.
If given the chance, I'll try my best to first prioritize the problems like the roads, the water, the youth unemployment. But we will do a lot if I will be given
But let me
chance.
ask you, this is a question I want to ask the two of you, okay? How exactly do you young politicians think, plan to actually change this country? Because clearly my generation has failed.
Okay. Changing this country, it's I am part of an outfit that does public conversations, and somebody was willing to pay for us to clean up a narrative. What we told them is there is an easier way to clean a narrative. Just do your job. I think the first thing we should do as young people that we want to make this country a better country is that can we first ensure or at least do our job. If you are a member of parliament, your roles are three: legislation, representation, and oversight. Do just that. Once you do your job, where you stop, somebody else, it's their job to pick it up from there, to do the policy, execution, and development. Once you oversight this person properly, then you realize you don't have to do more than your job. When you start doing more than somebody's job, you are overcompensating. Chances are you will not do your job properly. When MCAs think more about impeachment motions than oversight proper, then that is when our county governments become a cat and mouse game. The governor is ensuring the deputy governor does not sponsor an impeachment motion. The MCAs are ensuring that they extort the governor enough to ensure they don't impeach him. Then it means whether they are pending bills or not, it's not their problem. Whether the county government is doing their function or not, it's not their problem. As long as they pick their basha from governor is not impeached at least for the next 1 week, and deputy governor does not rise to power by that. When MPs reduce themselves to voting machines, that is the first thing we do as young people. I am sure that more young people will be elected as members of parliament. But if we go there and kill debate in the house of debate and change that house to become a polling station where the first thing you do for any motion is put the question, we don't even consider opposing views, where the speaker always mutes people who they know will say things they don't want to hear. If we go to do our job, governor knows that once you could be a politician to ascend to the position of governor, but once you sit as governor, you transform into a manager because you are in charge. You are a trustee of funds for your county, and it's your role to ensure that that money goes to the right functions.
Yeah.
when we change our structure of governance to look at the current solutions that we need to offer our people and not the next election that we need to bribe our people towards. That I even have a problem why we should have even an yearly finance bill, why businesses have to fashion themselves to face the tax regime every year. That there is any business strategy that is over a year is long term. There is something wrong with that. I think then we'll try and fashion our country to a tax policy that an investor coming from US, China, or even Kisi knows that my business should face this way for the next 4 years, because that's what the tax policy looks like. Then what our young people will do once we get the mantle is change from tax bill or every year to a tax policy for at least 5 to 10 years. Then we'll start empowering these institutions to do their job. We'll move away from the Auditor General's reports being love letters and romantic statements. They'll start meaning something. That an audit query is not just a query.
Mokaya, you come from Borabu?
I come from Bobasi.
Bobasi, not
Yes,
Borabu.
yes, Bobasi, Borabu.
Oh, Bobasi,
Borabu means east.
East. Borabu
Yes.
means east.
So I come from East
And what does
Bobasi.
Bobasi mean?
Bobasi means the people who slaughtered a goat from the back. We were the last born of Omugusi son,
Yes.
and when our father told us to slaughter a goat, we didn't know how to do it. So tulianzia nyuma, and that's how we became Omobasi.
So
Yes.
you mliwacha shingo mkaingia kwa-
It's a good thing because we are innovative people.
Okay. The question I want to ask is
Yes.
this. In the areas you both come from,
Yeah.
what would you say is the fundamental problem that young people have? And please don't say employment. What is a problem that you think they have to kuacha employment kando?
The problem with our young people, I think it's our mindset.
Why do you say mindset?
Our mindset is that we think politicians are the beginning and the end of our problems.
Do you really think so?
Yes.
Do you share that idea?
No, I don't share.
Mm.
My idea is, we as youths, the first challenge you are facing is that we are just there, reluctant, waiting something to be done. You know,
But that's exactly what
That's exactly what I
he's
said.
saying.
but you know, if you cannot, maybe I have the skill, maybe or I have the talent to be here like a presenter, then nikae pale nyumbani hivi. So I think what we should as youths is to wake up, grab those opportunities, go there to the public, start shouting there that, show the world what you have. If you wait someone to come and do something for you, then you must wait until you are dead. So I think what we should do as youths, especially from where I come from, is to wake up. Say that I want to be this. Don't wait for someone to come and empower you.
You want them to be proactive.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, exactly.
You know, I ask this question is for a very simple reason. You cannot be a provider of solutions if you don't intrinsically understand a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know?
So I think what we should do, if you want really to change this country, we must be there to speak what is happening. Like people are saying, we right now, we are in the intergeneration change, where we are saying that youths must be elected, youths must be given priorities. But how? We must talk the truth. He is vying, but actually he has not even told us the party he belongs to. So I think if we really want change in this country, we must first of all align ourselves. Let's not say that we are tribalist, leaderless, partyless. How will you bring change?
Okay.
The common mwananchi, mostly, and I mean mostly, in what happened, echoing what happened in last year's election, that's
The by-elections.
They actually aim the party. If you don't align yourself with the party, ukuje kama independent. Currently, we have around 11 MPs in our parliament elected independent. So that means most of the people elected, they must align themselves with the party. So I think the youth, if you want to vie, my friend, you must join a certain political party. From there, bring the change. Ensure no mzee. ama an old person
Yes.
get that certificate.
Let me ask you. So you're with the Jubilee Party, right?
Exactly.
What if you see during the primaries, the party primaries, assuming you still get to the very end of vying, someone else is given that ticket fraudulently, and the people are saying we want Kawanjiru. You want to tell me that tutasema, now that they gave it to Mokaya, wacha tu Mokaya. See, you will go out of the party and seek your own ways, ama?
You know, Jubilee Party is the most beautiful party currently in Kenya, where everyone, every man would like to wish to have it.
Okay.
So in our Jubilee Party, actually yesterday we had a press conference, a media briefing.
Yes.
And my SG and my party leader at our presidential candidate, Fred Matiang'i,
yes,
at the SG, our Kioni, assured us as young people that where we are heading to, the youths will be given the priorities. How?
Okay.
You know, I can't sit.
Why should you be given priorities?
You know, I have said in my previous statement that I cannot sit here, wait to be maybe during the primaries nomination to pass through. I must show something. Okay. You know, lazima niende huko ground.
Ndio maana nimekuuliza, after all that umefanya hivyo vyote na uone Mokaya amepata hiyo kitu na unajua for sure Mokaya yuko qualified kufanya hiyo kitu.
You know,
na unajua hata watu wanakuambia hapana, hapo Kawanjiru umeenjoyiwa, wewe kuja, utaenda independent ama uende na UD party ingine, DCP ama zile zenye ziko huko zote.
That will depend on how the party will carry the primaries nominations. If I see that maybe hapa nimeona nimeuma nje, I will just support the candidate who will get the certificate. Okay. If the nomination would be free, and transparent.
But I've just given you a scenario where it is not free and fair. I've given you a scenario. I'm not saying that Jubilee is not free and fair. I've just said, what if that day you wake up and one apana hapa vile kumenda it wasn't fair?
I decide
on that day. Okay.
Why I ask this question is this. It is good to vie. It is important to want to present yourself as somebody who is a change agent. But it is infinitely more important to have a plan.
Exactly.
So that even as you go into whatever you're doing, you're very clear in your head what you want to do. The KRO MP whom we talk about cannot be doing what he's doing if he didn't have a plan. Believe me.
There was a plan.
The governor would not be doing what he's doing if he didn't have a plan. Believe me, when you see people doing things, they have a plan. And they worked out in detail, and they know we start here, we go here, from this we go here. If we have, and that's why people have advisors, because when you have a plan, you run it through them, hoping that you've gone through the business of actually talking to your constituents. You run it through them. If you do not have a plan and you don't structure it, then you will, precisely, the change we're talking about will never come. And you will actually never bring about any meaningful change. Let me give you an example of what I mean. When you talk to fellow young people who throng places where there are politicians who want to give out money, do you think that these young people understand that every time you take that money, it's a loan. Not only a loan, that social benefit that you're waiting for, you've already sold it for that 200 shillings. It's gone.
Actually, that's what is happening currently hapo kwa mashinani. You know, the time you say you are vying, if you must, you know, if I can show you the text I'm receiving each and every day, ati mheshimiwa nitumia 200 namuuliza, you know, then we must have a debate. You know, if you want to buy,
unatumanga by the way?
Sina I'm still a student. So nitatoa wapi jamani? So I think the debate we should be having with the common mwananchi is how the civic education. We must go there as political parties, especially as youths, educate our people that hii 200 unapewa, it will serve you for the next 5 years. But yesterday I saw a conversation somewhere. Someone said that tunataka huyu jamaa juu akona chama fulani. And I was perusing through the comments and people were saying this time hakuna chama, we look to
The
a person,
individual.
the individual person. What can you do? What have you been doing? And what you are capable of. I think
Actually, and what plan do you have?
Exactly.
What plan do you have? Because you may have a good track record because people have told you we are building, so you go and help raise money. Or tunataka kufanya hii, you help, and you're known to help. But when
plan.
you want, now this is the leadership comes, when you want to represent a community, you want to be their leader, you have to have a plan.
Exactly. I think that's even my friend here. He will tell us whether he has a plan for.
Actually, there is a plan because Mngala asked a question whether what I think is the problem of people of Bobasi. And my plan is simple, and I won't want to hold many ropes until I lose all. I have 3 agendas. Number 1 is education. Education goes into the software and hardware. Our schools in Bobasi must look good. They must accommodate our children to learn comfortably. The second plan is that sports and talent. We must have talent centers for young people to exercise football, music, athletics, volleyball, whatever they want to express in their age and whatever they want to express that can be monetized into shillings.
All right.
The third thing is people-based projects, which means I listen. I don't want to bring you a hospital when really you need a police station. And I think that sums what I think is people facing. Then the other aspect is that you'll hear the member of parliament for Bobasi speak in parliament and speak on behalf of the people of parliament and vote in the way that is in the interest of the people of Bobasi. And that's why I want to tell my brother here that we are not yet in places where we have parties in Kenya. What we have is political shops where you go buy tickets and they sell you to the person in power. Let's not sugarcoat things. UDA belongs to President William Ruto. Jubilee party belongs to President Uhuru. DCP belongs to Gashagwa. Wiper belongs to
Kalonzo.
And ODM is an orphan. So, and these parties mimic the tribal bases where they are strongest. We are yet to find a party that is nationalistic. And the day you wear a coat of a party, one thing you do is accept that you'll play by the rules and the whims of the owner of that party. That's why our members of parliament have no spine, because the moment you start speaking, you lose the very ground that you sit on in parliament. So then, he mentioned something that is dangerous, that you go to that party and ensure no mzee gets a ticket. I want to say here that there is nothing wrong with age. Every age or age group has its advantage and disadvantages. Youth comes with the vibrancy and the will to change and the recklessness to make mistakes, some of which change people for the better. Old age comes with the careful and strategic wisdom where there is no much wajinga uzeeka pia. Our God is gracious.
No, but we get what you mean.
Not every fool dies young. But there is that you need to tap from. There's a story we say in Kisii that there is some times back when somebody dies or becomes very old, you'll put him in a wheelbarrow, take him to the forest and dump him there so that he can die, because we didn't have the willpower to kill them ourselves. So then there's this man who was taking his father to dump him in the forest so that a hyena can feast on him. On his side was his son. Then when they are at the preferred site when they wanted to dump the old man, the son told the man, "Dad, it's good that you have showed me this. At least I know where I'll take you when you get to this age." The man changed his mind, took his father
the father back.
And that's how we started allowing people to die of natural causes. So when you start judging people by their age, you should be mindful that your son should be telling you that the way you treat old men today is the way your son will treat you when you get there. Because chances are, by God's grace, you live long enough to be treated the way you treated old men.
Okay.
So we should accept that there is a place of wise people in our society, just like there is a place for youthful
fools.
For youthful fools and youthful wise men.
Okay.
But that does not involve banning this country. City said the role of a leader is truth-pronged. You have the 2 ears to listen to your people, but you have the vision to guide your people to where you want to take them, with their consent, of course. So then, what does this thing that we have created called the Young Vibrant Leadership do? We are not here to extinguish the importance of the legacy leaders that we have. We are here to represent the hope and the audacity to try new things that will change this country for the better, without destroying the very foundations, the good foundations that the generation before us. Why? Because this country, we have inherited it from people who held it in trust, and we are not inheriting it so that we eat all of it. We are inheriting it so we preserve it, we make it better for the generations that will come after us.
You know what is of interest is that we embraced and institutionalized a certain ethos of life that is not really African. The communal way in which we do things, or we did things, was symptomatic of people who understood that they were custodians. That land, and that was communal land. I'm actually a custodian.
Yeah.
You could farm it, you could till it. There was an area, it was known that was so and so's farm, but it was understood that other people would in turn utilize that particular property. Now, the so-called idea of the nuclear family, where you exclude everybody else when you're making your plans, is very alien to the way Africans went about their business. But we've adopted it, and that's the way we look at life now. That having been said, if you consider one of the greatest tragedies of the Kenyan life is how it is we have focused all our energies on accumulating as much material wealth as we possibly can, at the exclusion of everything else, to the point where the accumulation of material things has become like a form of worship. So money actually acquires a quality it doesn't ordinarily have. It becomes a god. Now, do we have the time and the patience to be able to actually walk young people, your generation, through the processes of understanding a very simple concept called a meritocracy? Because when we talk about tribal associations in the political setup that we have over time built and accepted, if we talk about this regional affluence and thinking in terms of where we come from, which is a good thing, but in terms of at the exclusion of others, that's where the problem comes in. Where does the meritocracy come in? Because what we've seen over time is something which we call in the line of business crony capitalism. That's why we have a country where some of our richest people were all civil servants at some point.
Not leaders of industry?
No.
Not manufacturers?
No, politicians. The people who are businessmen are known, and the businesses that they were involved in are known. And people who then later became businessmen learned to associate being in government and the position they held. They bought into businesses that businessmen already had, and because they were in a position to help them to grow. It's all right. That's a nice ringtone. It's called crony capitalism. Now, part of the reason why we see it is because very many people politicians who purport to be leaders, have never understood how it is you grow an economy. Look at the governors that we have in this country. The vast majority are failures. In that all the billions they've been given, you cannot justify what you see as representing development with the monies that they have received. But then we, in turn, have accepted a minimalist approach to everything that they do, so that when someone does something very small, so, that's what we point to. Yeah. And you forget the fundamental question. Given that you received X amount of money, all right, this represents 0.0 something % of it. Where did the other go? And then but 60% to 70% is used in employing people. The moment you have a narrative where you think the money is given is for employment, you clearly demonstrate that you don't understand how to build an ecosystem where growth can actually take place, and that the economy of that video county of yours can grow. That's why most of our counties are essentially stillbirth. They don't really grow. Some even have the misfortune of having an own source revenue which is less than the municipality of the time was collecting. Now, the challenge, where do you people place meritocracy in your line of priorities as to what it is that you'd like to see?
I think what we are currently lacking as youths is godfathers. You know, you yourself, right now, you are a presenter. If I ask you, are you mentoring someone who is very young?
What do you think I'm doing now?
Here we are.
Right now, what do you think I'm doing? I know when I talk about what do you think I'm doing?
You know, you are not mentoring me in a way.
Actually, I am. When I challenge you and ask you a question, what do you think I'm doing? I'm asking you to think beyond the normal boundaries that you've been thinking.
But do you have someone who is young?
Not someone. I have people. It's not one person.
Who they are saying that you are mentoring them.
Not only they're saying,
it is happening.
It is happening, and there are others who will tell you, this fellow mentored me during this point in time.
That's very nice. So I think what we are, we as youths, we are lucky.
We had one recently, and this particular gentleman here was quite shocked when the guy said, no, this man...
My role model, I had
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think what we are lacking as youths is someone who can mentor us, maybe in public participation,
right,
civic education, how to do with tribal thing, leader thing, political thing. So I think if we can have some people who are mentoring us as youths to show us the way, like you are supposed to do this way.
Yeah.
Like in the village, we have the wazes who maybe at sometimes at ukifikisha a certain age, they will start showing you how to maybe slaughter a goat. So if you can have such kind of people in Kenya at large, then in the next 2 years or maybe so off, we can be very far. So I think what we as youths we are lacking is someone who can show you the way, hold you your hands.
Yes.
But akuonyesha the way, how to do things, how to carry things. Like for me, let me assume I'm a student, but I'm a student right now. I'm doing automotive engineering.
Okay.
So if I don't have someone who I'm looking for...
Are we still assuming, or you're actually doing automotive engineering?
I'm doing automotive engineering.
Okay, yes.
So if I don't have someone who is mentoring me or showing me how I should do things, then in the next 5 years or so, I will be still the same. So I think in leadership, what we lack mostly is someone who can show you how to do things. Like in my own view, in Muranga County, we have very good leaders who I see them like they mentor young people. But in my case, it's very different. When I say I can lead people, then nitaanza kugogwa kichwa nirudi wapi? Pale chini. Because they don't want you to take people where they were not able to take them. So I think if we can have a conversation on how we can be mentoring young people, and that's what Jubilee Party is doing. Jubilee Party is giving us, as the Youth League, a platform on where we can learn, be trained on how to govern our nation, how to run politics, how to do leadership. I think the only party, and my brother said that we don't have a national party. Jubilee Party is a national party. We have 4 MCS in Makueni and an MP in Makueni. So that's in the political...
That is one part of the country.
I am assuming if that's a bedroom for the Wiper Party. But if you can get 4 MCS in a bedroom, you know, like you have your own people.
So you're a home wrecker.
Yeah, I
so that's a
serious allegation.
So Jubilee Party is a national party.
Yeah.
And it's mentoring young people. That's why I'm here. I'm being mentored. So I think in the next 6 months,
yes,
when I will come back here, the way I'm speaking right now,
itabadilika.
It will change.
Utakuwa umepiga mazungumzo pasi.
If this was my first interview, in a national TV,
Yes.
in a national radio station.
Yes.
Like this.
Yes.
It's my first interview.
Yes.
The way I'm speaking right now,
Yes.
I'm like maybe our listeners can tell us. Maybe I'm like na ile inaitangwa kuwanyunyuzia maji. Hiyo the same.
Yes.
So
Believe me, you communicate quite clearly. Yes, you communicate quite clearly. So it's not. Don't doubt yourself. You communicate well because you are speaking what you feel, what you know, and that is important.
So
Yes.
I think if I will be mentored in the 6 months, when I come back here, I will be very different. I would urge our people, even my brother here, to join our party. Because he'll be given a platform to run, to explore, to mingle with leaders like leaders of who are in the current government, like they are elected, leaders who are there. So they will tell you that you want to run for the MP seat. You are supposed to do this, carry this, carry yourself in this way. Like Jubilee Party is doing a lot. Actually, I don't know how.
Have you ever been a member of any other political party before?
Yes, I belonged to a party that I don't know whether it was registered.
What was it called?
It was called the Voices. The Voices. It was called the Voices. I think
it wasn't a singing group.
It was a party, but when I joined, actually Jubilee Party came in when I was aspiring to be a student leader, where I'm currently a student.
Yes.
So I met Ejo Budhia, our youth league chairperson at that time. She brought me to the party, took me in platforms where I can meet people, meet other young leaders from different institutions, and that's where I started learning. Oh, I was not supposed to do these things. I'm supposed to do these things.
Yeah.
So I think our parties, especially political parties in Kenya, should come out clearly on how they are training their youths, or they are mentoring the youths. If we mentor the youths in the next coming election, we will be very far.
Yeah. All right. I think there's parties have been there. There's the one for Kingo Kamenchu. You can aje?
Placenta Party.
It wasn't. It had another name. It wasn't Placenta.
I've heard of Placenta Party.
There's one that had a love heart and then Kenya in the middle. I'll remember it and then I'll let you know before we end the show. Yeah.
Okay. So to answer City's question, two things. There's nothing wrong with tribe, and I'm saying this very confidently.
Yeah.
That the beauty of this country is the rainbow in what we present, is the diversity, that we are not the same. We don't come with the same abilities.
Yeah.
That we know who know that there is Kisi here, and there is Jaluo here, there is Kalenjin here, there is Kikuyu here, there is Somali here. We don't look the same, but magically we belong in this country called Kenya, and we speak the same language called Swahili, and together we form the cocktail that makes this beautiful country, the black, green, red and white. The problem is when tribe becomes our only agenda. There is absolutely no problem in identifying with who you are, because that is what locates you to people who share common ancestry with you. It's identity. And we must guard that, because even in our constitution, it is recognized. There is no problem in speaking in Ekegusi, and fluently so. We can't accept what the colonial masters told us, that tribe is primitive, that nothing cultural is good. Culture is good. The only problem with tribe is that when it only becomes the only consideration in exclusion of everybody else.
Yeah.
As somebody who comes from the Omogusi nation, I should recognize that the best best fundi for my bespoke suits is Luo. I should understand that there is nothing wrong. I should not wear a suit that looks like the Supreme Court because I must wear a suit sewn by Mkisi. I should also understand that the best singer that I know is Embarambamba, who comes from my place, because he sings in a way that a language that I can hear.
Yeah.
But I must also appreciate that I should not get offended when I can hear Samido sing in Mugithi, because it means that is embarambamba for somebody else. So everybody must not like what I like.
Yes.
I've brought an aspect of meritocracy here, that my fundi who's Luo, my mechanic who's Luya, and my professor who's Kikuyu, they form a very good mix of the capabilities we can harvest from the strength of each people, each nation.
Yes.
And we should celebrate that. But it can't be that I can't listen to somebody else because when I'm creating an orchestra,
Yeah.
that everybody must be kissy. The drum guy must be kissy, the guitarist must be kissy, the voice guy must be kissy, and even the hype man must be kissy, when I know there are people who have better capacities than my people. That's now when we start something called qualified kind of tribe. Negative ethnicity. Without that negativity in that ethnicity, there is nothing wrong with where we come from.
Do you really think that there is something called negative ethnicity?
I think when you make ethnicity the only consideration in everything you think, when you start saying,
then you demonize every
then
other.
when every statement starts with, I'm trying not to say Murima, when everything you say starts with sisi kama wakisi, hii kitu inatusaidia kama wakisi, and there's somebody who's firebrand on that aspect.
Yeah, but why do you think that people do that? Because it's not just one. You see, if you happen to have made it a point of speaking very often, and you have made it a point of ensuring that what you say is heard by very many people, and we're in the information age, so it is possible, then you will end up being seen as the person who speaks about that the most. And yet,
there are people practicing it.
yes, at the very core, we are tribal. And
I'm actually tempted to agree with you.
No. This isn't a bad thing. This is the whole point I'm trying to make. I do not like that construct called negative ethnicity, because it is people who negatively use their ethnicity or weaponize it. It's not negative, it is weaponized, because they have an agenda that they want to pursue, and that agenda is easily served when they identify themselves with their ethnicity and they propagate everything with their ethnicity. That's it. The weaponizing of it. That is where the problem arises. But do you know the beauty and the benefit of this diversity that we have?
We can tap to capacities that we are uniquely specialized in.
It is. Julius Nyerere understood this long before we did. He understood it, and he muted it by ensuring that Kiswahili came to the fore. Tanzania has more ethnic communities than we do.
But
by
not
far.
as pronounced as we
You
do.
don't even know them. If I were to ask you to mention 4 ethnic groups in Tanzania, you will not be able to. They are more than we are. My point being, anyway, Julius Nyerere didn't know what he set in motion, because the current CCM have a problem because he at least succeeded in unifying the country.
To CCM.
Yes, and that's why their youth, it is easy for their youth to have done what they did. And those who have been in the party, Vigogo as we call them, didn't see it coming. Now, there's a point I'm trying to make here. We have a group that refers to themselves as a united opposition. I will never call it the united opposition because there's nothing united about them. When they're united, I will be able to see it. But for now, that's what they call themselves. Now, when you say you're united, and everybody in the country can see that you're far from it. So what are you selling? And then you criticize the government for doing something that you yourself also doing. What am I trying to say? There's a generational hypocrisy that people of my generation, those who are older and those who are close to me in age, have entrenched in this country for the longest time. And you, who are young, are, with your eyes wide open, following in those footsteps. And you think there's a benefit, and you don't seem to understand that this is what actually limits the things that you could achieve and do. This thing of young people in government, it's not new. At independence, we had people who are 29 years old as permanent secretaries. We had very young people. And these young people had the responsibility. And remember, these were first time. No African had ever done these things. They were put there and they were doing what they were supposed to do. What am I trying to say? In a generation and in a time when young people have the advantage of being in the information age where you know so much, what excuse do you have for following dictates that are negative and completely anti-progression? That's why I brought in the topic of meritocracy. Because if you're looking for someone and you focus on a meritocracy, it doesn't matter where that person comes from. It honestly doesn't matter where that person comes from, because they'll get the job done.
That's true, and that is the beauty in our in this cocktail called Kenya. He touched on mentorship. I believe we are confusing the idea of mentorship with spoon feeding. A mentor should not identify you. A mentor should mirror what you should be. It's true that there are people who mentor people they don't know. The touching the helm of the cloth of Jesus concept. That you can be healed without the medicine man knowing that they healed you. There are people here who are mentored by Obama and Obama does not know them. Because Obama mirrors what success means to them. But the road to success must be walked by the person who actually wants to be successful. If you are lucky that your mentor identifies you, then you could be 5 to 10% max. Because again, even your mentors have their own struggles. If William Ruto is your mentor today, you think William Ruto will stop trying to struggle to retain his presidency and come to mentor you in the leader you want to be? If Otieno Mokaya is your mentor today, I hope so. Do you think Otieno Mokaya will stop vying and struggling to even fundraise for his political ambition to come and ensure you are a student leader? It's part of what he can do, but first he has to survive. Even on planes, you are told first put your mask on before you go to help somebody else. Then this mentorship we are looking for, we should redefine it. 2, I am sure President Moi did not go to look for William Ruto to mentor him. William Ruto mirrored what President Moi was doing, so much so that even in the political journey of President Moi could see there is something about this guy. But he was in the doing. So your local politician who you want to be your godfather will not come to your hostel and pick you to be his leader, to be his successor. He'll pick you in your road to be a leader when he realizes there is a function you can play in his grand scale of things.
Yep.
But if you stay in your what the best you can do is a blogger trying to write what he can't say and look bad for him to look good, or his bodyguard to be shot on his behalf. The ones that get bad things happening to them in campaign chaos. So then, how do we get mentored? The problem with getting mentored is that you might pick the good and the bad in your mentor. You can be so good a leader and also as corrupt or even more corrupt than your mentor, because you might pick even the bad things. It happens in my career that the pupils now swear that they won't be as bad as their pupil masters. Then they get into becoming advocates and they become worse people, worse than their pupil masters on how they treat their juniors. So then as young people, I think the best thing we can do is initiative. Before you're complaining, you should ask yourself, what am I doing to change what is wrong? Not everybody can know what is wrong. Everybody can complain. But very few of us will right the wrongs for other people to copy.
Thank you so much, Mokaya. Kawanjiru, I'll allow you 10 seconds closing remarks because we've come to the end of the show. What are your parting shots as far as the conversation we've had is concerned?
First of all, I would like to appreciate you two gentlemen. We had a good conversation, and I can't mind coming back here again and again. We interact more.
You will. We'll invite you.
Thank you. So, moving forward, I'm looking to engage you with Mokaya here. And I was to ask Mokaya ni yule wa TikTok ama ni, are you related somehow? You answer that.
That's a comedian, I'm a lawyer.
So, the next thing I would like to appreciate my party. That's my Jubilee party. Appreciate Angel Budhia for the good work she's doing. And also my friends there, Akina Sakawa, akina Kengori, akina Juliet. So we are a big team of the youth.
Yes.
We are doing good work. We are heading this journey together. And my people from where I come from Komodhai, I would like to appreciate them. They have born a king in the making. I'm the David. You know, if the Saul is the king right now,
Yes.
I might find myself being anointed by Samuel.
Okay.
So, thank you very much. We shall interact more.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, and we wish you all the best, both of you. Of course, Mokaya, wewe ulituambia kitambo kidogo unataka kufanya nini? Wewe umesema bado unaamua, unangoja ground ikuamue, ikuamulie yani. Sawa sawa. Folks, we have come to the end.